This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV Profit.
Hello and welcome to The Big Fish. Today it's a bonus day on the show because we have two big fishes joining us. But the first one is the man of steel, Mr. Lakshmi Mittal, who needs no introduction. Mr. Mittal, thanks so much for joining us. First of all, you have legally completed the merger of much talked about Arcelormittal. Where have the synergies come? It's been a long way. Can you update on that?
Today is the first day after the legal effectiveness of the merger of Arcelormittal. Though it is not making any change in terms of business. We are already merged since we announced the merger, but legally we are one company. I'm very happy with the progress what the Arcelormittal has made since merger. We have announced synergies, lot of $1.6 billion of synergies, and we are making a lot of progress in terms of capturing those synergies ahead of time schedule. At the same time, it's very important that the merger is very successful and which can be very clearly seen from the results which we have been announcing since last 1 year. For example, today we have announced the results of our third quarter, and we have announced net income of $3 billion and EBITDA of $4.8 billion, which is a record results for ArcelorMittal.
So you're present in over 60 countries in the world and 110 million ton of steel production, which is about 10% of the total steel produced in the world. You're the biggest company in the world. Now, where do you see your company going from here? What else is left to achieve?
You see, ArcelorMittal is the largest company, that is for sure, but we have still a lot of opportunities to grow. There are two kinds of opportunities to grow. One is organic growth, which means we like to grow internally. We have today announced that we would like to grow by another 20% by 2012. That is part of our organic growth. It is not only in terms of volume, but it's also in terms of quality development, new product development, and also we will be growing in our upstream business. We also like to grow in our mining operations. We'll also grow in our distribution and downstream businesses. So company has an organic growth plan which includes not only the volume but growth in upstream and downstream businesses. Then second, we will continue to pursue growth opportunities through mergers and acquisitions. Even in the last quarter, we have announced a couple of acquisition initiatives. For example, we have exercised option in Canada for the mining operations. We have participated in China in the steel business. We have announced joint ventures in Turkey. We have announced the minority tender offer in Exindar in Argentina. So the company has lots of initiatives externally and internally and continue to grow. I have always said that the largest steel companies must be within the range of 150 to 200 million tons, and I believe that ArcelorMittal is on way there. Our internal growth plan does not include our 20 million tons greenfield project in India. So if you add it up there, we are moving to 150 million tons in next few years.
Good you raised India plans because you have promised the largest FDI ever in India, but then you have seen some setbacks there. Does it dampen your spirits?
No, it is sometimes it is disappointing to see the progress, but at the same time, I understand their predicaments. I do not believe that all these states have seen such large investments coming in their states. So they have to be also geared up to accept those investments and work with the foreign investors to facilitate them in terms of the approvals and the land rights and the mining rights. And I'm sure that as they get educated gradually, they will accelerate the process of approvals, and we will also be benefited by their understanding and by their learning and their excitement.
POSCO has tied up, has an alliance with SAIL, so the PSU backing might help in their India progress. What is your key strategy? What makes you confident about India plans?
POSCO's tying up with SAIL is only for a very limited segment. They are not part of the POSCO's steel venture in India. We have, as a ArcelorMittal, we are very proud that we have the largest R&D center in the steel industry. We have 1,300 employees working there. We have the biggest and the most intense technological bank. Means we have so much of technological knowledge and experience, which we believe would really help in developing these steel plants, not only in India, but all around the world. Wherever we have steel facilities, all the time we are benefited by the knowledge and experience of ArcelorMittal, who have 310,000 people with 52 nationalities. So we have tremendous knowledge and experience, not only in the technology, but our global experience of market, our global experience of operational excellence. So all those knowledge will help us to implement this project very effectively and create one of the best steel plants.
You just announced acquisition in Estonia, and you are the M&A king as we know you. So to keep up with your status, which new destination are you eyeing right now?
Estonia is one of our new acquisitions. We continue to look at opportunities on a global basis. We are not only looking at acquiring the steel plants, but we are also looking at expanding our business as various product segments and the downstream business. This Estonian Galvex plant is part of our downstream expansion. But we are also, for example, we have also announced acquisition of distribution centers and service centers in Turkey and in Italy. So all these initiatives will continue to progress.
You have been bringing steel to the lives of many across the world. So what is your global dream going forward? You have become the biggest steel maker already. So where do you see you going in some years from now?
ArcelorMittal has a very strong fundamentals. It has a bank of one of the most experienced steel executives in the world. I'm always very proud to say that we have one of the best management team, and this management team is very excited, very motivated. They're always looking for opportunities to develop and grow and bring a lot of technological knowledge and experience to the business. Everyone is very excited at the management team, at the GMB level, at the board level, to look for opportunities to grow. And wherever we will see the opportunities which can create value for our stakeholders, our shareholders, our customers, our suppliers, we will work on that.
Mr. Mittal, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I have with me Mr. Aditya Mittal, who is the CFO of ArcelorMittal. Mr. Mittal, thanks so much for joining us. First of all, starting with the mega merger that we had of ArcelorMittal, how far have we gone in terms of financing? Is the interest cost too heavy for the company right now?
We have gone very far. We have had record results as a company, 25% higher than last year. It's been an outstanding success. In terms of the interest charge, it's insignificant to our overall profitability. Our gearing has come down, our net debt to EBITDA is down, so balance sheet is very strong and healthy. We actually increased our liquidity to $19 billion roughly in spite of the subprime crisis. So it's been an excellent year for us. I think the best proof of that is our stock market value. We were $20 billion in January 2006, and now we are over $100 billion company. So clearly there has been 5 times expansion in our market value in about 18 months, demonstrating that even the market believes we've made tremendous progress in the merger and realizing the synergies and the growth plans we have in the future.
Which is one geographical area where you're seeing the most amount of growth coming from, because you have a particular stake in each one of them and all the regions are behaving in different ways as far as steel industry is concerned. So where do you put all your stake?
Our most important and most aggressive growth area is India. We're investing over $20 billion in the country, trying to set up 24 million tons of steel capacity. I don't think in the history any private steel company has ever had such audacious plans as we have. The other Indian steel companies were trying to do the same, and that just reflects the prospects of India, the potential it has. And we at ArcelorMittal believe we can bring a lot of benefits to our country, India.
Okay, and you have been expanding aggressively. M&A has always been the top of the agenda. I think 8 or 9 M&A deals have been announced in this quarter which went by. So what is your game plan? Isn't M&A a little too expensive for the company, or you think it's justified?
Obviously, it's justified, right? Because we did 9 deals. We're growing on product, on geography and value added, and we had growth on all those segments. In terms of product, we grew, for example, in tire bead cord in China. In terms of geography, we just bought a facility in Estonia where we were not present before. In terms of value add growth, we're setting up a hot strip mill in Turkey, expanding our cold rolling and galvanizing capabilities in other parts of the world. So clearly, activities in all spheres. Fundamentally, we are focused on doing M&A deals, which makes sense for our company because we have competitive advantages, and also focusing on internal growth. We have a very ambitious growth plan. Excluding India, which I talked about earlier, we intend to grow our steel capabilities by 20 million tons. We intend to double our mining capabilities, and the total cost of that is about $28.5 billion. We intend to do that in the next 5 years. If you add India to that, that means steel of 40 million tons and total capex of about $50 billion. So clearly, apart from M&A, we have a very ambitious growth plan. I think a lot of people just think of ArcelorMittal as an M&A house. We're not an M&A house only. We are a strong M&A power in the steel industry, but we also have done a lot in improving and growing our steel facilities and our mining capabilities on a global basis.
Good you raised mining capabilities, because it's a critical thing. Every company in the world, steel company in the world, is clamoring to get a share of the raw material reserves. You are self-sufficient in 45% of the raw materials. You want to take it up to 60%. By when and how are you going to do that?
We're doing it through the organic plans that we have. So we're growing our capabilities in Mexico, Ukraine, Senegal, and Liberia. Senegal and Liberia itself is 30 million tons in West Africa. We're spending $4 billion in that region. So clearly that is a massive growth area for us. From about 45 million tons that we have today, we intend to take it up to 88 million tons by 2012.
And what is the kind of pricing power you're enjoying? Because you have a stake in almost all the geographies, while US is, the prices are softening there, European prices are going high. So what's your outlook on pricing power going forward of steel industry?
We expect the steel industry to have a stronger environment from a price perspective in 2008. The key issue there is a cost increase. We have significant cost increases in iron ore and coal. So theoretically, we have a price cost squeeze. So the key challenge for us would be to see how much of that price cost squeeze we bear and how much of it can we pass on to our customers. And clearly 2008 will be a critical year in determining that.
And you've been talking about again and again about the innovative and the new steel, new products that would come in which will give you a competitive edge. How are you going to do that? And how will it reposition ArcelorMittal going forward?
We have as you might know already since you saw it today, we have the largest R&D facilities of any steel company in the world. 1,300 people across Europe, as well as facilities in other parts of the world. To give you an example, 50% of the automotive steels that we produce today, we did not produce 5 years ago. And we're doing about 20 million tons of automotive steel. So that's a significant shift in new innovative products. We do things like advanced high-strength steels, ultra-high-strength steels. If you go to our R&D facilities in Chicago, you will see the latest Ford pickup truck or the latest Toyota Tundra there, because we're working with our customers to develop steel solutions. We have significant shares in these customers, and primarily we have the largest share in most of these automotive companies because of our service capability and because of our R&D capability. And that is an advantage which we will continue to invest in and grow in as the years go by.
Okay, and finally, just because you are very bullish on India plans, how does India plan fit into your global bill of ArcelorMittal?
India is the most important part of our growth in the future. Unfortunately, we have not been able to develop business in India in the past. I think right now we have made it our #1 priority. Our most aggressive growth plans are in India. I mentioned earlier in passing how important India is to ArcelorMittal. I think you know that the largest shareholder is Indian. We have a lot of Indian staff. We're all excited about what we're going to do in India because it is our home country.
Okay, thanks so much, Mr.
you.
Mittal, for joining us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV Profit.